They used to tell me, spare the rod, spoil the child. That means if you don't get a fucking beating, maybe not a beating like I got, the kid was going to turn out like shit. I rest my case. You used to say, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt you. Now I realize that some people that have been here have never been fucking laid. I use a lot of sexual metaphors because back in the day, even the 90s or early 2000s, everybody understood sex. The next most understood subject matter was sports. So I had learned other than U.S. sports. Football is different here than it is across the Atlantic. Dealing with people with a square bat, that means cricket bat. Square, that means you're on the up and up, square bat. But everybody doesn't understand sex. Everybody doesn't understand sports. And that's why we introduced boxing. There are people that have sat in this room that have never been disciplined by their parents. Verbally, hey, goddammit, spanked, not sexually spanked. We've had a few of those. Spanked. We have people in this room that have never been in a altercation on the schoolyard, grammar school, junior high school, a fist fight. I don't see how you can get through life that way. Of course, look at what we have. They used to tell me, spare the rod, spoil the child. That means if you don't get a fucking beating, maybe not a beating like I got, the kid was going to turn out like shit. I rest my case. You used to say, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words can never hurt you. How many have heard that before? Okay. It ain't the case now. Now people commit suicide because they get disliked, is that the right word, on Facebook. Is it unliked or disliked? Not like, well, you know what I'm talking about, right? I've been banned by Facebook now. I must be doing something right. Took them a long time, fucking twats. I get letters all the time. And whenever it's a handwritten letter, I know it's an extra sob story. Everybody understand sob story? A lot of tears involved, okay? I get people volunteering to come and work for me for nothing from all over the world. Let me work for nothing for a year for you. But when we get off YouTube, I'll read a couple of sentences from some of them. It has been recommended that I change a seminar to the Book of Dan. I talk about Allah a lot. I talk about Buddha. I talk about Christ. And I talk about me and how I'm going to replace them all. And but I'm telling you what the Lord knows vis-a-vis creating wealth. There's nobody else that's even close, remotely close. None of the guys and a few gals. There's not many gals doing it. Just recently, a couple of the guys started talking about money, and they created revenue. I'm talking about creating net worth. We're going to get around to the homework later. Now, the great Stephen Hawking just passed away in the last few months. The greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, it's the illusion of knowledge. And that's what you have been following heretofore, the illusion. If that knowledge had worked, you wouldn't be here. Some of you guys are senior guys, long in the tooth. At your age, to be screamed at by a psychopath like me, it should be insulting to you. I hope it is. It's the illusion of knowledge. I never met him. And most of which you've learned is that's dinosaur shit. A pile of shit. I've created more money than the entire industry, cumulatively, since Moses. Not one of my complaints. I'm a persona non grata at the school, university I graduated from. But I've created more wealth than the entire alumni of the school, yet I'm not recognized there. They have not created a fraction of what I've created because they shoot the messenger, not the message. Many people that have taken some years to get here, and there's a few of you that have taken years to get here, as opposed to those that heard me and in few, not maybe seconds, but minutes decided to be here. They shoot the messenger, me, because you don't like the way I say it. But I have nothing to sell you after this. But this is what you've learned so far. Napoleon Hill, he didn't say, just fucking do it. He said, action is the real measure of intelligence. So what's the corollary to that? Corollary is a big word, I understand. What's the opposite of that? Inaction is for me-heads. And why do we not take action? Because we're afraid. We want to be liked. Almost everybody in this room is a pleaser. And if I call you a pleaser, that means you're a fucking cunt, spineless piece of shit. You know you're pleasers. There's a method to our madness of the questions we ask you. What's the highest performance thing you've ever done in your life? What's the highest performance thing your partner or wife or slag or whatever you sleep with has done in their life? What's the highest performance thing that your kids have ever done in their life? I'm going to go, and these aren't the exact words you use. Nothing, nothing, nothing. What regrets do you have is another question, right? Some of you have been stupid enough to say, I have none. Well, fuck you, wasted your money coming here then. What's the biggest regret your parents had? Now, some of you were honest. Having you, for 3 or 4 of you, I'm going to prove to you almost everybody in this room was an accident and nobody liked you. Nobody wanted you to be here. There's the odd Catholic family that has kids like rabbits. That's an exception to that rule. But when you ask your mother, or if you've already known that your mother's biggest regret is getting married to your father and having you. Now, how do you think that's resonated with you over the years? Poorly. Why doesn't anybody else talk about it? It's the fucking truth. Because they got an upsell, a side sell, a butt fuck sell for you. And they want you to like them, or not, at least not dislike them enough not to buy some shit from them. I don't give a shit if you drop dead here. We've had people shit their pants in the seminar. We've had people piss their pants in the seminar. We've had people pass out. Back in the day, we had a woman pass out and crack her head on that fucking, you know how the wall pokes out a little right there? And her twin sister was sitting here, and we didn't stop the seminar for her. Blood rush coming out of her, big cut in her head. We just kept fucking rolling. Because in life, you're nothing more than a fart in the wind in the cosmos of time. 2 hours later, we took a break, coffee break. And one sister was a lawyer, and one sister was a psychiatrist. The lawyer is the one that fell over. Muslim gals. Somebody, they're asking on YouTube, how come I keep talking about the 90s and the early 2000s and being so successful? And I keep telling them, but nobody listens. Number one, people say, where are the templates? Where are the processes, systems, and procedures? All this shit. We didn't have any then. We took your cell phone, as it were, there were block phones in those days. We took the cell phones when you were locked down here for a week. We didn't let you talk to anybody. We didn't give a shit if your wife died. You didn't know your wife died because you couldn't take a call. We took all the phones out of the castle. We unplugged them so you couldn't call anybody. We had no webinars like you're going to see, 15 or 18 webinars. Webinars that were other successful kids that just left the seminar that are doing what you're about to do. If you follow the program. We didn't have anything. On graduation day, we kicked you in the ass. We drank all day. We drank in the morning. We drank at lunch. A lot of bodily fluids were swapped. I'm not recommending that, but it was sex, drugs, and motherfucking rock and roll. And they're most of the kids up there. Success leaves clues. Current generation, actually the last generation, have no balls. Just recently, as I said last night, Bill Gates has come out, not out of the closet, in the closet, like whether he's gay or not, out of the closet that he says there is no work-life balance. Vacations and time off isn't what people say it should be. But the first time in all these decades has he come out. Because he's getting in my judgment, he's getting towards the end of his life, running out of runway. He's 10 years younger than I am. And he wants to, come clean. He's one of the last big hitters to come out. Of course, Jeff and Elon and all the other guys, Steve and myself, Jack Welch says it the best, and I mentioned this last night. There is no work-life balance, there's work-life choices, and they have consequences. We should give you, I told you last night, a divorce decree, so you can do a quick claim divorce. The ones that I like are when the guy's been married 35 years. And what's the one that kicked the bitch? What's that saying last night?
Ditch that bitch.
What? Ditch that bitch, yeah. Is when the 30-year marriage falls to shit. That's what I like. Those are the best. And it happens all the time. We stopped counting at 60% because if you knew how bad it really was, nobody'd come to the fucking seminar. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you'd still come to the seminar because you're so fucking desperate. The best ones I like is when mother kicks her son out of the business partnership. Mother turns on a son. It's a sexual experience for me. I get my nuts off. The best are when a daughter turns on a dad. Ooh. I walk around with a fucking erection. And that's what I see every fucking seminar. I'm not making this shit up. And then we get these. This is just an example. I don't even know who this fucking guy is. I found the money the day I closed on the building. I picked up 800 grand in equity and a positive cash flow of 150 grand. All of your videos help me stay busy to get, that's a European, you got to be European, staying busy, that's what they say, staying busy to get the financing. I actually got financing from a bank that I never would have dreamed would give me the money. Thank you for dragging me across, blah, 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 blah. 99.9% of the people that have used QLA successfully, I've never met. They never sat in this room, I've never met. They say, the pundits say, that we have 2 million active users. I have no way of proving that, but when you take Dan Locke, who's got 5 million followers, and he tells everybody and his dog that I'm the main reason he got rich. Maybe I have 2 million, I don't know. I certainly don't know that. But I do know, 5 years ago before I went on Brian Rose's London Reel, we had 100 people a day come to the website, 50 returners. returnees. And now we have in excess of 10,000 a day new people to the website. And that's why I thought I was going to fulfill demand by giving a seminar every month. It hasn't even scratched the surface. In fact, it's enhanced demand. And we're booked up for a year, and we'll have no seminars next year planned, Castle, and that's why we thought the collective we, that perhaps a one-day seminar would quell the demand. So I'm giving a one-day seminar in London. And I'm not threatening like marketing guys do, but if I go back to Washington in 2020, that'll be my last seminar. That's it. I'm hanging the motherfucker up. I'll be so fucking happy. I talk about 3 regrets in my life, but the mistakes I made are doing this, buying the castle, having a family. Those are the mistakes. They're not the regrets I have. The 3 regrets I have: I'm a combat trained Army officer who never saw combat. I yelled at my mother here the night before she died. I said, "God damn it, quit being a bitch, you're not gonna be dead." Next morning she's dead. And the 3rd, I didn't set my goals high enough. Not that I missed my daughter's 16th birthday, and none of that shit. Those are mistakes. I tell people on the YouTube, something breaks at least twice a day here at the Guthrie. We celebrated last year our 550th anniversary. That's when it was built, 1468. Well, yesterday, 5 things went wrong. Now, they wouldn't dare wake me up, but they woke up my wife because a tree fell down in the village. Now, who gives a fuck about a tree falling on the motherfucking village? Certainly not me, but I'm the laird. So my wife got up and orchestrated some shit, and of course all our staff were out drunk on their fucking ass. And you can't drink and drive up here anymore. They lay in wait, the cops, so they can take your driver's license away. So a tree broke down across the telephone pole, almost touching an electric wire. Almost, not touching. How close was it? 10 feet away. Plus all the other shit that went wrong yesterday. Every day, something goes wrong. And every day it's 1,500 pounds, 3,000 pounds, 7,000 pounds. Because I pay the castle tax. For every 1/10 of a mile your driveway is, and our driveway is 7/10 of a mile, or 3.7 miles. Almost 3/4 of a mile, you pay 1 time, and then 2/10 is 2 times the regular bill. And when it's 7/10, 7 times the normal bill that a schmuck across the street would pay. We pay 7 times here. And when we refuse to do it, nobody comes. Nobody comes. And that's including public utilities, water, gas. Nobody comes because we pay the castle tax. Nobody told me about that when Sotheby sold me this motherfucker. Were they being disingenuous? Of course they were.
Most of you that are typing in this chat thing, and most of you that are listening to me,
this is an old
have never been involved
commitment.
in a transaction,
and this is why
or a deal so far outside your comfort zone that it made you sick to your stomach, where you threw up.
The barf bag for you to throw up in.
Before the meeting, you had to toss your cookies. Most of you that are on the chat thing and read my newsletters have never been in a deal that was literally life or death financially. Most of you. And I'm not saying you, but the closer you get to those extremes, the higher the probability that you're going to be successful. The higher the probability that you're going to do what it takes. There's a difference, and I've told my children this, and my business partners know this. When Dan Pena tells you, "I'll do whatever it takes," that's a different order of magnitude than when your brother-in-law says, "Yeah, I'll get it done." When Trump, Jobs, Branson, all these other guys that I've talked about, and Ford and going back and Carnegie, when they said, "I'll do whatever it takes," it was a different level of commitment. And the difference I see between my generation and the generations that have come after me are commitment. Their definition of commitment. Bruce Whipple and I, although he's a few years younger than I am, have the same level of commitment and going the extra mile. It's different. You know, young kids in their 20s, and this is an exaggeration, and I don't mean to paint a brush against all people in their 20s, but when a guy 28 or 29 says, "Yeah, I'll do whatever it takes," he means, if I don't have a hangover, if I'm not loaded up on fucking drugs, if it's convenient between my tennis and my golf lessons, if my girlfriend, had been giving me regular sex, I mean, that's his level of commitment. When a guy's in his 30s and early 40s, he means, "Yeah, I'll get whatever done, unless I have to take my daughter to the ballet, unless I have to take my son to the dentist, unless I have to take my wife to the therapist, or unless we got to go to family counseling." There's a difference in level of commitment. When I tell you it's going to get done, it's going to fucking get done. Coma, death. Coma, death. And you want to know the difference between the billionaires and the millionaires? Commitment. The guys that are super successful are super committed. And I'm privileged that I'm still committed. I'm not as committed as I was in my 40s, admittedly. I'm not. I don't, it's tough to work 20 hours a day for 60 days in a row now. But it's certainly not tough to work 20 hours a day for a week or 10 days. I'll do that. But I just can't stay focused for 2 or 3 months. That's why my specialty is the red zone. When you get the ball to the 20-yard line and you want to kick it into the goddamn net, I'm the guy that you come to. I'll get it in the net by hook or by crook. I may have to bash your teeth in, cut your ear off, threaten you, but we'll get the ball in the net. Now just think about that. And all of a sudden everybody's dried up on their chatting. How many are willing to make that kind of commitment? How many want success, to be a high performance person that badly, to make that kind of commitment? I leave you with that question. God bless. We'll see you in a few weeks.
We dried up from 1,100 people down to about 200 in that 60 seconds online.